Hey everyone, it's Dr. Detroit here. The doctor is in, and welcome back to our F1 2023. Try it again. Hey everyone, it's Dr. Detroit here. The doctor is in, and welcome back to our F1 2023 Career Mode Abridged. So, if you guys missed the last episode, first of all, shame on you, but second of all, you guys missed probably one of the most controversial things that has ever happened in this series, because we got wrecked by Max Verstappen, one of our biggest title rivals right now. Gave us a nice little tap, which sent us all the way back to the 8th place or something like that. If we come over here to the standings, you will see that we finished back in 8th, while his teammate Sergio Perez ended up winning. We still got the fastest lap, which is good news, but Verstappen absolutely screwed us over. And what was actually kind of nice about it, though, is that he finished outside of the points, which is actually kind of nice. So, unfortunately, our winning streak comes to an end, but we can always rebuild on that as we head to Barcelona, which is the next race on the calendar. It is the Spanish GP that we're going to. In the point standings, you will see that there is a 12-point gap between us and Sergio Perez, as well as also Ferrari and the Red Bull team. We're also doing a lot of things with this car, because first of all, you'll see that we're bringing in a new engine, because this old one was going to be completely destroyed. I mean, look at that, 72% wear. It's no wonder our car was going to be so bad. The rest of these things, I think we're going to be okay with. I will decide on if I want to bring in a new heat piece, but we shall see. The energy storage is still good. The turbocharger, I decided to go ahead and replace that. The control electronics is fine, and the gearbox, I think, will be toast after practice. But as you can see, our R&D development has been working nonstop, because look at all those different upgrades we're going to be getting. We're going to be getting quite a few upgrades before the Spanish GP. Plus, we'll also get a couple more ready for the next race, because I believe next one is Canada. So let's go ahead and advance the time and get these things put in. So you can see now we got
parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Development. This department has required your attendance today at the meeting. Oh no, now what? And it's the Aero people. Let's see. A charity has asked if you're happy to prioritize their cause by becoming the face of their latest campaign. Unfortunately, this would mean you missing aerodynamic department's team building event we had planned. Well, I'll support a charity.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
Yeah, we should be okay. We should be fine. Anyway, let's continue and advance the time, because we got plenty of stuff that's getting on the car right now. Not good. Means I gotta go back in and redo something. And again, something else.
We're expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
Alright, so the driver acclaim goes up by 1,000, which is good. But what the hell's going on at the R&D center? Why? Let's go see what's going on. So this has failed. Yeah, redo it. And then what's the other thing that failed? this little thing. Alright. Yeah, this would be to improve the materials and everything. But yeah, I want them to continue forward. So now that just used up quite a bit of our resources and our resource points, but at least now we should have everything back again. There we go. Perfect. Now we got a couple more of these, which means we're going to have some big upgrades coming to this car later.
New parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
And I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and skip the Pirelli hot lap, because they really don't do too much with you. But anyway, there's our race. It's the Circuit de Barcelona. And as you can see, we are racing the version that does not have the chicane, which means this car will really, really excel. So let me go get this car practiced and qualified, then I'll meet you guys on the grid, and we will get the Spanish GP underway.
Welcome along, everyone, to sunny Spain, specifically to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. So many great moments in Formula One history have been written at this very track over the years, including Michael Schumacher's first win for Ferrari back in '96. That win was in the rain. We might have better weather here today, but we're just as overjoyed to be at the Spanish Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Gasly, the Scientist, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Albon, Sargent, and Zhou Guanyu. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Okay, so I don't know what happened there, because we were supposed to go down to the grid or anything like that, but, the game must have glitched out. But anyway, as you guys saw, our teammate Charles Leclerc inherits the pole position because I took a grid penalty. Yes, I replaced what was known as the kinetic energy heat source because I could see it was at 57%, and I kind of wanted a fresh piece. So I went ahead and I took a new one and kept the ones that we have in reserve. But that means we took a 10 grid spot penalty for all this. But I know this car is super fast because in practice we were stupidly fast. So we should have started 1-2 on the front row for Ferrari, but I think we can finish 1-2 in the race. Let's take a look at the strategy, and as you can see, there is two different strategies that we can do. There is the soft tire to the medium, and then there's soft to the hards. And I think we might go with the soft to the hard tire again because, well, as you can see, there's only one stop. But again, I feel like the hard tires are going to come into play a lot better. But this also means, too, that we can also be off sequence with everybody. So we'll have to come in at least one lap earlier than everybody else, but when it cycles back, we'll have the better tire and the longevity. And plus, this race is also going to be a lot of fun because it's a 33-lap race. We're here at Spain, and how funny how we're recording this when F1 announces that that the Spanish GP is possibly going to go to the streets of Madrid in 2026. So, if you're ready and you look ready, let's do it to it. So let's get into the race. Just wait for everybody to start rolling off. And you can see the track map down there. It's a very welcome deal because it's not like the...
Which map is good, but we need to learn the gears. So go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
Thank you. Anyway, so you can see down there on the track map that the version or that the configuration we're running today is the slightly newer version, but it's also an older version. If you guys remember, there used to be a chicane right there by the second dot. See right there by where my tire is? That was right there. And it was a very bad chicane. In fact, it tripped us up when we came here for the Alpine season, which speaking of an Alpine, there's an Alpine right there in front of us. Pierre Gasly. And also, Valtteri Bottas qualified pretty well up here, but his teammate Zhou is near the back, unfortunately. So yeah, this is going to be one really quick race. 33 laps are going to make up the running, but you know what? 33 laps are going to go by somewhat fast. So we're going to be really pushing our way to the front, and if it works out, we could get a Ferrari 1-2. But we also need to be very careful with Max Verstappen. Hopefully we don't have another incident like that again. So you can see where we are. So in front of us will be Bottas and Gasly, and behind us are the two Haas cars of Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg. So good to see the Haas cars slowly working their way up. But right now we're about to come through that very specific chicane. You can see the old part of the track, but now they're right here, and we'll be going through that throughout the entire day. Alright, let's reform on the grid again. We'll get these cars gridded up, and we'll get the Spanish GP underway. The excitement is going to be building here, and we're going to make sure that we get a good starting start off the line. Let's see. Boom.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we
Awesome.
get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
Yep, let's see if we can. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the anticipation is building. Here we go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights! And it's go, go, go! Off to a brilliant start. We're going to make the pass on Valtteri Bottas going to the high side there. Oscar Piastri is going to fall in behind us. Now there's our old teammate Fernando Alonso as we head our way into turn number 1. Onto the outside we go. Meanwhile, up at the front, I can see that Max Verstappen is trying to make the move on Charles Leclerc, but Leclerc is going to have to answer to that one. Meanwhile, in front of us is George Russell, and there's Lando Norris in front, as well as Lewis Hamilton. Now we make our way into turn 3, high up on the track as we make the pass on George Russell, making it look easy up here as we get a blistering start. Oh boy! Oh man, I had to really jam on the brakes there to avoid hitting the rear end of Lewis Hamilton, but now put us up into the top 5 after the first few corners. Meanwhile, our teammate Charles Leclerc is currently leading the race. My goodness, this has we're not even past the first lap, and we're already doing so much better right now than everybody else, which is awesome. All right, now let's just settle down here. Let's not, now's not the right time to pass. We'll wait until we get to the front stretch because with this new engine, I want to use it as much as we can. Kind of hit the brake there because old instinct. But here we go through that last corner and onto the front straightaway as Charles Leclerc will lead lap number 1. So good work for him. Meanwhile, George Russell makes a big bonsai run on the bottom. But let's see what happens as we continue from here. We don't need to worry too much right now about passing, but I would like to get up ahead of everybody else. Just got to get into a little rhythm again. But boy, that was just an amazing start. So right now we're gonna try and see if we can make some moves here and try and get around George Russell.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Yeah, looks like we're going to need to do that. So, ooh, Russell almost made us go way outside, but let's see if we can come in here and dive him onto the outside. Big power move to the outside. Look at that. So there goes George Russell down a spot. Now we'll use our overtake a little bit and see if we can't catch back up here to Lewis Hamilton, because the other thing is that the DRS will be enabled this lap. Whoa, wow, I had to really hit the brakes on that. Meanwhile, Leclerc continues to lead. Just make sure we get through this corner just fine. There we go. Yeah, see, just had to be really cautious through there. But right now we can put the pressure here on Lewis Hamilton. Now let's use a little bit of overtake. And now we're going to see if we can make a move here on Lewis Hamilton, and we get the fastest lap right there. Look at this. Lewis Hamilton is going to defend like he is. The DRS is now enabled, but now we make the power move around Lewis Hamilton. But is Hamilton going to get us back? No, he's not. So move us up into the 4th position. Now all we got to do is we got to get around those Red Bull cars of Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen. And no, we are not going to pay back Verstappen in any way, shape, or form. Because this is not NASCAR. This is not any sport that we can make contact with these cars and get away with it. So right now, let's try to calm down a little bit. But right now, we're going to make the move on Sergio Perez. We're going to go to the outside. We're going to do the same thing we did to George Russell. Will we get the spot? Ooh, a little contact was made, but put us up into the 3rd position. There we go. All right, so up to the 3rd position we go. Meanwhile, our teammate Leclerc continues to lead. Boy, I really thought that Sergio Perez was going to get us there, but we got a little bit loose out there. You'll see that all of us are on the soft tires because that was the main tire choice by everybody. There was only one set of mediums used, but that was used for the practice programs and things like that. Meanwhile, we're going to have DRS here on Max Verstappen.
To your teammate ahead is 2.1 seconds.
We'll see how well we can actually catch up to him. We can't really catch up to him right now, but that's okay. Wow. Max Verstappen parking the bus right there. Anyway, as we continue on with the race, it's good to see Leclerc leading, and right now it's a double Ferrari podium if the race were to end right now. And now we're going to try and get around Max Verstappen and see if we can get something happening here. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's getting very tight right there. Very tight. He did not want us to pass. Now I'm not close enough to create an opportunity right there, but maybe down this straightaway we will be, because I believe no, this is not a DRS zone. Let's see what we can do. Let's use a little bit of our overtake. Yes, it is a DRS zone. Here we go. Let's go to the outside. Dive bomb into the corner, and we get the position back, or we get the position to second place. So now this.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
So now this makes it 1-2 for us right now, with our teammate Leclerc leading the way. And right now, I feel like we're just going to cruise. I feel like we should just go ahead and cruise and let Leclerc have some time in the sun. But yikes. Those first couple of laps are always crazy. But you can see how quickly this race actually goes by because of how short this track is, as now Max Verstappen tried to get around us but couldn't get it done. So now we're just going to go ahead and be off the overtake for right now, and we're just going to get that coming back to us. Meanwhile, we're going to defend behind our teammate here. Because you know what? Here's the cool part. I really would like to get a 1-2. I don't care which way we go. I don't care if it's me winning. Oh no, you don't. Oh no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You did not spin out. You did not lose the rear end once in practice. What is wrong with you? Jeez. Anyway, let's continue forward. I don't care which way. I mean, I don't care which way it goes. I don't care if it's me winning or if it's Charles Leclerc winning. As long as we're 1-2, we can get some serious points ahead of Verstappen and the Red Bulls. So now here we go through the corners. We're back onto the most fun part of the track right here. Kind of got over the curb a little bit. Boy, car is really getting loose now. I think it's probably because of those tires. Anyway, we have DRS again. But I'm not going to use it on Charles Leclerc here. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just let him be up ahead. And we're just going to kind of ride here, because look at this. Me and Leclerc have a 2-second lead ahead of Verstappen, Perez, and Lewis Hamilton. So now things are settling out here in this race as we now approach lap 6. We're now going to be working lap 7 on the next time around. I'm kind of curious to see what my teammate's strategy was for this, because I don't know if he's going to take the same tires as me or what's going to happen. I mean, at this point right now, there's a pretty darn good chance that we could just stay this way and just continue to continue to pull away, but we'll see. But right now, this car is getting a little bit loose. But they also did smooth out the track a little bit. They actually made it a little bit better to make it more flowy and also give you better overtake opportunities. Or passing opportunities, as they say. So we still got DRS. We're still right here with our teammates. Let's go ahead and have a look-see at our wear. And it looks like the gearbox will be the next thing that we're going to need to change, probably for Canada. Probably should have put a new gearbox in, but right now it's not giving me any fits. But I will say that when we get later in the race, I'm sure we're going to have to get that changed before we go to the next race, which I think is Canada. Oh boy. Yeah, I can tell this car is starting to feel a little weird. But we are not too far away from our one and only pit stop coming up.
If you can get past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
That's fine. I don't want to get past my teammate right now. I want them to lead for now. Now you might be thinking to yourself, but wait a minute, you're the faster car. Why are you letting your teammate lead? Well, if you take a look at the intervals, you can see that we've almost built up a 3-second lead. Plus, you know, I kind of want Charles Leclerc to have some fun in the sun. Like, you know, he almost won back at Miami. I think this would be great if we could come home 1-2 like this. So yeah, right now I'm just letting Leclerc have some fun. If Leclerc gets shuffled back or something, then we will figure out what to do from there. So I'm just kind of following him. Not really wanting to pass or not really wanting to do anything, quite frankly. Because here's the thing too, there are the stupid team orders and things like that, but right now it's early in the season. And as long as Leclerc and I can, finish on the podium, we will get more team points and everything. Wow. Leclerc parked the bus so much. I'm now starting to wonder if I really should let him lead or something. Well, I guess as the race goes on, we'll continue to keep an eye on this. But if he parks the bus on me one more time, maybe I will have to pass him. But right now, he seems to be okay. Now, this track is also in Gran Turismo 7, and it's also a lot of fun to race because you can race both versions. Both the old version with that stupid chicane, and also this version that'll make for some very flowing racing, which is really great. You can see we're actually pulling out of the draft right now. That way we don't catch up to. That way we do not have to make the passing opportunity on Charles Leclerc. Oh boy, yay! The tires got really weird there. Well, right now we've kept the lead at about 2.8 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, and right now not much has really changed at this point. Like right now, there's like a big gap between all the different cars, and I think it's because some of them are struggling on the softer tires. Because that's the thing, is that we started on softs. Everybody started on the soft tires to kind of get those out of the way. I don't know if there's going to be a race coming up this season where we're going to see softs to the end, because I think it would only happen if like there was a short sprint or a red flag or something. But right now there's been no red flag at all in this race, which is fine. Anyway, as you can see how fast it was, it took us about 18 minutes at the time of hitting record, almost, to get to this point. But we're already now at lap 10 of 33, which also means too, we got a problem down there. See something going on. Seems to be a fault or something. Could be our gearbox giving us problems, but right now the gearbox is fine. Everything else looks good. So right now our pick window is set up to be opening up here on lap 13, 14 to 15. So we're going to be one of the first cars to come to pit road once the pick window opens.
Okay,
and then,
no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
So then that's a good sign. As you can see, our tires are almost dead because of how much we've been abusing them. Meanwhile, over here, I'm taking a look to see, and it looks like that gearbox is now at 60%, which means we might see some issues. We might see some issues pop up with it. Hopefully, we still have all of our gears at the end of the race. So as we continue right now, Leclerc is the race leader, our teammate. Then we're back here in the second position. Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez make up third and fourth, and Lewis Hamilton is now up into the fifth position. Actually, he has been fifth for all this race, but you can see that there's quite a weird kerfuffle back there, because I think something's gone wrong. Oh, George Russell's out of the race. I just saw the little turquoise dot. So something must have gone wrong with George Russell. like as if an engine let go or something. Ooh, that's going to be huge for the Mercedes. So that will hurt George Russell, and that'll actually help us because now we've automatically won that rivalry. But now the big question, though, is what's going to happen with Lewis Hamilton? If it's the same mechanical issue that George Russell has, is Lewis Hamilton going to survive the rest of the race? That's another big question. Anyway, we've closed the gap here on Charles Leclerc. I believe Leclerc is going to come in and get the mediums, which will put us on the hard tires. But we'll see what happens. And then after that, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Because here's the thing. If Leclerc takes the mediums, then he's going to be a sitting duck with us on the hards. And there's a yellow flag because of George Russell.
There's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, as I was trying to say, if Leclerc takes the mediums and we go on the hards, which we're going to be going on the hards anyway, he could be a sitting duck because I'll have the better grip, I'll have the better everything. But if he takes the hards with us, then it might be okay. But we'll have to see. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton are starting to battle a little bit there for 4th and 5th. Quite an interesting little shuffle there. Because at this point now, it's kind of a question of like what's going to happen. Because we have a big enough gap. Max Verstappen is not catching us whatsoever. He's way too far out of reach to even utilize any form of draft. I mean, if he was to back up all the way to his teammate Sergio Perez, that is like a 3-second gap that Sergio Perez would have to make up in order to get back there.
A lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake button.
Well, we don't need to use the overtake button right now, because right now we're not really interested in overtaking. Alright, so our pit window is about to open, so we will come in at the end of lap 13, which then should mean that Charles Leclerc will come in the next lap. Hopefully we do not double stack, like we did that last time, and as you saw there, I kind of had to hit the brakes again. But let's see what happens with this, because we have to come in, essentially, the next lap.
In this lap, push now.
Alright, so we're going to be coming in this time by, and hopefully Charles Leclerc comes in the next time by. So that means he would probably go to lap 15 with those tires. But yeah, we're starting to feel loose here. But once we get on the hard tires, it should be pretty good for us. I mean, you can see that Leclerc is having a little hard time. One thing I don't want us to do is that I don't want us to double stack. Double stacking is going to cause us pain, because that's what happened. Oh my goodness, Leclerc. Wow, Leclerc parked the bus again. Oh boy. Alright, so now let's watch and see what happens as we make our way out of the corner. Hopefully he does not come in at the same time, because if he comes in at the same lap, like if he... Oh boy, sorry about that, buddy. Now, if he does decide to come in this lap, then we will just jet back onto the track. But let's see what happens here. Is he going to come to pit road with us? He better not. Let's see. So here we go, and he misses pit road, so that means we get to come in right now. So we're the first of the leaders to come to pit road, which will leave Charles Leclerc out there, and we'll see if anybody else decides to come in. This is a little early, but I think we'll be fine on the hards. Off come the mediums, on go the hards. Good stop for us. And as you can see, it has a 24 lap life, which means we can go to lap 34. I can see that Oscar Pistari came in.
These tires now, you want to finish the race on this compound.
Okay. So now we are good to go. So now we're back onto the track. And we're all the way back in 7th. So now our teammate Charles Leclerc is out there, but I can see that Max Verstappen is going to be closing the gap. However, it now all depends on what's going to happen next with him. So at this point, now we can really stretch our wheels, and we can definitely try to see if we can, catch back up with our own teammate. In fact, I'm curious to see the spread. Also, it does take a few laps for our hard tires to kick in. So right now, we are running behind our former teammate, Fernando Alonso, who's over there now at Aston Martin. It's going to be kind of cool to see that and pass him again. Not using any overtake right now. So now Leclerc's in the pits.
Charles is in for his stop now.
All right, now the big question is, how is this even going to work? Who's gonna get out in front? I believe it's going to be Leclerc. So let's see what happens as we make our way out of the corner. I'm gonna use a little bit of overtake here. So what's gonna happen? Is it going to be me or is it going to be Leclerc that's going to be coming out ahead? Here we come, past them, and it looks like we're going to beat our teammate Leclerc out of pit road, and he's on the mediums. Oh boy. So right there, that may have decided the whole thing, because my goodness, if Leclerc has taken the mediums and so have the other drivers, that is not good. So that means we have the better tire right now. So once Sergio Perez comes in, we will have taken the lead here at Barcelona, Spain, and we're almost to the halfway point of this race. But that was our only stop we had to worry about. Also, I feel like we're going to be a lot faster, too. Easy through the corners there. Easy does it. So Sergio Perez should be the last of the cars to come to pit road, but here's the thing. He's lost a ton of time. He's lost a ton of time here. So when he comes to pit road, more than likely he's going to fall way behind.
Perez is in the pits.
Like, I feel like he's possibly going to fall back as far as possibly 5th or even 6th. So now he's coming out of pit road. Let's keep an eye on him while I drive. And it looks like Sergio Perez will be back there in the 5th position. Meanwhile, our teammate, Leclerc, is still 2nd and has a humongous 5-second lead ahead of Max Verstappen. So right now, the Red Bull cars are very much separated. So now it looks like this might be the way it'll finish out, but we'll see. Meanwhile, let's see. Are we going to be catching up to any lap traffic? Yeah, maybe just a few cars up ahead, but we're we're definitely not going to catch up to them at all. I mean, not in this very few laps. Maybe as we continue forward with this. But you know, I'm having a fun time here at Spain. This is probably one of the more satisfying runs I've ever had here at this track. Like when we were racing here in F1 21, this place was an absolute disaster for us. Like we couldn't do much. We finished way back in 6th, way behind Valtteri Bottas at the time. So, oh boy, come on. Let's also not forget, too, that a lot of these races will more than likely be a one-stop race, but some of them will probably be a two-stopper. And I'm not sure where the two stops might come in. Could be somewhere like Magao Nagadic or someplace else, but we'll see. Meanwhile, as you see over there, I saw something flicker, but I don't know what it was. But hopefully it's not. Hopefully it wasn't another glitch or something. But right now, we lead the way. Charles Leclerc is 2nd, with about a 5.4 second deficit to us. Max Verstappen is stuck there in the 3rd position. Good. Lewis Hamilton is 4th, and Sergio Perez rounds out the top 5. I have a feeling I'm the only one that maybe took the alternate strategy, but I decided that this would be the better way to go. Like, maybe one day I'll probably take the same strategy as my teammate. But who knows? Right now, we're just having a grand old time in the race lead. Use a little bit of our overtake, just to have some fun. And you know, Spain is also the infamous track where we saw the two Mercedes take themselves out in 2016. Which was an absolutely grandeur to see. I mean, you love to see it, because at the time, the Mercedes cars were just winning every single week, with Lewis Hamilton or Valtteri Bottas winning the races. But at that time, it was at a point where everybody was just so happy to see, you know, either a Red Bull or a Ferrari win. Like, I feel like that the era from 2014 up till about the year 2021 was basically that whole era where anybody was just happy whenever anybody but Mercedes won. Like, I don't think I've ever heard as big a cheers for stuff like that in many years. And plus, as we heard at the beginning of the race, that Michael Schumacher got his first win here for Ferrari way back in 1996, which is actually pretty cool. Now, I also want to point this out while we're racing. Some people have asked me where does the whole "and it's go go go" thing come from? That actually comes from the late great Murray Walker. Murray Walker was the commentator for a long time on the F1 races, and he had probably one of the most recognizable voices on the broadcasts. In fact, if I remember, I'll leave a link in the video description to a video of like the highlights of some of his F1 commentary, because he sounded so good. In fact, if he was still alive today, it would probably sound like this. And currently, we are on lap 19 of 33, and out in front is the American Dr. Detroit in the Ferrari. And behind him is his teammate Charles Leclerc, and then Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, followed by Britain's own Lewis Hamilton in that beautiful black number 44 Mercedes, and Sergio Perez currently in the 5th position in the Red Bull as well. Something like that. Probably not the best way to go, but probably doesn't sound right, but whatever. I'm seeing that Verstappen is slowly trying to catch Leclerc, but I don't know if he's going to have any issues.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
I don't know if I want to. I really don't know if I want to burn off this energy. I really don't know if I want to burn off all of this. I mean, we could, but right now we're just cruising, and we are going to catch some lap traffic. So, well, what the hey? Well, I was about to say let's go ahead and go crazy. I didn't say let's go off the track. I say let's go ahead and use a little bit, just to kind of for funsies. Slowly and easily, right there. Also, we got to be careful with that rear end, because that rear end was trying to kick itself out. I know that at some point there will be some more big upgrades coming to this car, because I do want to get some more upgrades for this car to make it as good as we can get it. Excuse me. So right now we've opened it up to a 10-second lead ahead of our teammates. You can also see too that our car now starts to feel like that we have higher downforce now. Like when we were at Bahrain, this thing felt extremely tight. Like it just didn't want to turn or anything like that, and we did a lot with the aero. And so not only do we have a pretty aero sound car, but we also now have a car that is really fast. I'm going to make sure that we get some more drivetrain upgrades going, because I think that'll also help us in the long run. But I also feel like, too, that the gearbox is really giving us failures, because I'm still seeing that little thingy, which tells me that, yeah, the gearbox is really starting to give us a problem. So what may end up happening is that the gearbox is going to be changed at some point before we go to Canada, and I don't think I'm going to take another grid penalty. I think I'll just go ahead and run with it. I mean, not with this gearbox, but with the new gearbox. But we're going to have to be really careful. Be really careful with it. I mean, I could take a grid penalty at Canada, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to stay up front for Canada, because I know that's going to be a hard place to pass, especially with the Wall of Champions over there. So, you kind of have to figure out which tracks you feel most comfortable with taking the grid penalty. I took the grid penalty here because I knew that the car was going to be really quick, especially with the new engine in it. As you can see, we are slowly catching up to a couple of back markers here. I can't tell who those are. I think one of them might be Lance Stroll, and probably the other one is going to be... I'm gonna say it's possibly a Haas car, but let's see as we get closer to them. No, it's actually an AlphaTauri, and I was right about one of them. But wow, the AlphaTauri, or excuse me, the Visa Cash App Red Bull car of Daniel Ricciardo has now fallen back. And yes, everybody, that is what AlphaTauri is now. AlphaTauri's gone, and now they call themselves the Red... I think it's like the Visa Cash App Red Bull team, I think, or something. I don't know. Meanwhile, Lance Stroll is going to relinquish that to us. So now we've placed 2 cars 1 lap down. And we're also going to be hunting for some more, as we got 10 laps to go excuse me, in this race. In fact, I'm starting to see now that we're going to get into a little kerfuffle of traffic here, including, looks like it could be the other cars.
Gap to your teammate behind is 13.1 seconds.
Like the Williams, the Haas, and the Alphas, too. So the Alfa Romeos and the others are going to be lapped, I feel like. You know, I'm glad that we got, you know, a little update there on Charles Leclerc. And to keep a tradition, here's a full race update.
You're in first position, front of the pack. Charles is behind you now. Okay, gap to the car behind. 13.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. And 11 laps to go.
11 laps to go now. And that was weird. It seems like the audio is glitching a little bit, because he basically repeated himself a few times. And yeah, I can start to see that the gearbox is really starting to struggle, because when we get into 7th gear, it's like the car just doesn't want to pick up. Like, it feels good shifting in, but otherwise, when we get to 7th gear, it's a little weird. Watch this. Well, it seems okay right now, but it's just that one area, as we now are about to do this with Logan Sargent, so he will pull over. That's the thing about running, or trying to fight for the lead lap, because here's why. In F1, you have to acknowledge the blue flags by moving over and letting the faster car go by. If you don't, then there's a major penalty. In NASCAR, obviously, you can fight to stay on the lead lap a little bit. Tell you one thing, this might be one of the shorter F1 videos that we've done before, because this is actually kind of nice. Anyway, I'm starting to see a couple of cars up ahead, so I think we are definitely going to catch up with these guys. Nice and easy through here. Yeah, it seems like 7th gear is okay, but I can see that my lap times have fallen off a little bit, because our best is a 1:16.6, but that's kind of to be expected towards the end of the race. In fact, what ends up happening is that sometimes some front runners that are near the back will often pit to put on a set of soft tires and just go out there and try to take the fastest lap away, because obviously, that is actually a point to us. So Yuki Tsunoda now falls back in the Visa Cash App team car. But I'll tell you one thing. Right now, me and Leclerc are absolutely going to get some major points ahead of Max Verstappen and the Red Bull cars. While they will get double points as well, we'll get a few extra double points. And with me getting the fastest lap here, it's definitely going to be good for us in the championship as we make our way to the next race, which should be the Canadian Grand Prix at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Just trying to be nice and easy through here. You also will notice, too, that whenever we got up behind somebody, for the lapped cars, DRS does not work. So if the leader's behind the lapped car, they don't actually use DRS or anything like that. But meanwhile, Leclerc continues to run in 2nd place, and we got a huge gap ahead of him. Right now we're catching up to the back of one of the cars. I believe this is the other Alpha. This is Joe. Yeah, it's Joe, who had to take a penalty earlier in the race, so he's not doing so well. But those Alphas are not really doing so hot. In fact, that team is now called the Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber. Yeah, I wonder how long it's going to be until they implement that name into this game. Because I know that they implemented a lot of changes and things as well, but who knows. Alright, so now I see that we're going to be catching up to the next car, which should be Super GT or Alex Albon. But we'll see. As we continue our way up through here. Nice and easy through here. Don't need to be too stupid. Because I mean, we got a healthy gap, but uh-oh. I see that Max Verstappen is slowly closing the gap on our teammate Charles Leclerc. But I think he's going to run out of laps. I think he's definitely going to run out of laps to get there. Hopefully our teammate Leclerc can, you know, battle with him while we continue to lead. Alright, we're going to be catching up to another lap car coming up here in a sec. Most likely should be Albon and the other Williams.
Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
That's fine. Not too worried about it. Now you see, obviously, you know, whoa, did you see that? He got really loose. So yeah, that car is just sick. Boy, that was strange. He must have done something like clipped that curve or whatever. Now we're going to get into another kerfuffle of cars up ahead. Ooh, the tires are definitely starting to wear a little bit. Didn't have as much grip there, but that's okay.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy. Come on.
Alright, fine. We'll go ahead and use some of this energy. That should be enough. Because see, for me, I don't mind if we have all this energy still in the car, because we don't need to worry about, you know, anything like this. Ooh, little loose there, but yeah, this is, see, the back half of this race is usually when the tires start to really mess around and start to mess up. All right, so now we got 3 cars we got to overtake. We got Magnussen, Bottas, and looks like Hulkenberg. So Magnussen gives us the position, or gives way. Now what's going to happen here? Oh, Bottas got wicked loose as well. Had to be really careful with that and not mess up our gearing. And now Hulkenberg will go behind us. So now we've almost lapped all the way up to 10th place. In fact, that was the 11th place car, so that means we are most likely going to catch the next few cars, which I think are the Alpines. God. It's a shame to see how far the Alpines fell after our big 17 to 18 win season in F1 2021. And I'm looking over there and I'm seeing that that Leclerc still has a 2-second lead, or a 2 to 3 second advantage over Max Verstappen, so probably don't need to worry about that too much. But even though, you know, there wasn't too many overtakes in this race, or too many battles for position, this was actually a very clean race. Very clean, very nice. And I'll tell you one thing. This is going to be a lot of fun as we continue to upgrade this car, because I feel like that this Ferrari is going to perform really, really well. As Pierre Gasly now goes behind us. So now there are 10 cars in the lead lap.
Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left.
Okay. And we are catching up right now to the other driver, which is Esteban Ocon, which means now there will be 9 cars in the lead lap. And then after that, we just have a lot of smooth sailing. So we're not going to be lapping any more cars pretty much in this race unless somebody decides to have an issue. Now, here we come onto the straightaway. So now Esteban Ocon should give us the spot on track when we go into the corner. Let's see what happens. Here we go. We're gonna go underneath Ocon. Yeah, he hit the brake really hard there for the dive bomb. But now that puts 8 cars on the lead lap. Just 8 cars on the lead lap, which feels like an old-fashioned F1 race, but man, this Ferrari is just amazing. It's like a speed demon. In fact, you know what? Just like how we had, my little Alpine, or my little Alpine at an F1 2021. I think that's what we're gonna call this car, Speed Demon, because Speed Demon is just crazy good right now. Nice and easy through these turns, and we're just winding down the laps because now we'll have just 3 laps to go. And let's see, let's go ahead and take a look, and it looks like that Verstappen has closed the gap tremendously on Charles Leclerc, but I don't know if Leclerc's got enough to bypass our teammates. Hopefully not, and hopefully we can make it a Ferrari 1-2. God, I cannot speak today. As you can see, we now have clear track ahead of us. The next car in line should be Oscar Pistari, but we're not gonna get anywhere close to him. But like I said, this race has been so much fun. I'm having the time of my life on this track. Like I want to do it again.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 30.8 seconds.
Wow. And look at this, we're the only team that, it looks like we're the only team that took this strategy. Knowing how good the car was, and knowing how good we were on the good engine. Whoa! Okay, ooh, we hopped over a sausage curve there, but thankfully we have enough room that we are okay. Kinda got a little loosey-goosey back there. We could even duck into pit road right now and get a set of softs and
right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
Really do something, but nah, we don't need to be that stupid. 2 to go at the line. So right now we got 2 laps of racing to go. And of course these races are, not timed or anything. Excuse me. As you can see, it's now becoming early evening or late afternoon here in Barcelona, Spain. Man, look at the shadow shifts. You see those? That's really neat. Yeah, if they tried to do that in the early games, like way back in time, then guess what would have happened? Yep, I feel like this would have ended up crashing like we almost did. Well, looks like Verstappen has closed in on Charles Leclerc, but probably still doesn't have enough to even get by him. So I think the race is going to end with us finishing 1-2. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And unlike in some series where, when a certain team is leading and they decide to go 2 laps to go and then, go to the checkered flag, then something's up. But here, in every race, we will make sure that we have 1 lap to go. So here we go. We're coming out of the final corner. White flag is out, presented by Ally Bank. And now we can push this thing towards home. Meanwhile, further back in the pack, I just realized that Sergio Perez moved up ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So that means they probably have the draft. So it's going to be close. Can Charles Leclerc finish second and give us a double podium and make it a Ferrari 1-2? I think he can, but you never know with those Red Bull cars. And it's actually going to be a close battle, but we shall see. Hopefully the lap cars do not give Leclerc any issues. But we started back in the 11th position due to the grid spot penalty, but it looks like we're going to take this car to victory lane here in Spain. This race has been so much fun. We have a new engine in the car, and I think we're going to increase the gap tremendously on the Red Bull cars as we make our way to Canada for the next race in the series. But you can see the Spanish flags flying Even though none of us are Spaniards or anything like that, but I'm sure they like a little Ferrari. Coming out of the final couple of corners, we are the winners, and it's a Ferrari 1-2 in Spain. Beautiful.
Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we get driver of the day as well. Beautiful. That is just awesome.
Real team effort then, which has paid off in spades. A great victory here at the Spanish Grand Prix.
Grazie, grazie.
Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, what a race. At the end of the day, it is all about raw pace, and our winner had it in spades today.
And our teammate finished second, from the looks of it. That is so cool.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Beautiful. A Ferrari 1-2, baby. Sucked in, Verstappen. Can't keep us off the top step of the podium. Or for that matter, the second spot of the podium either. Nice. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and clink the glasses. There we go.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The scientist increases their championship lead. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
I have to give it to the scientist.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Wow. So we got a 26-point lead ahead of Sergio Perez, which means that if we have any issues with the next race and we don't score a single point and Perez ends up winning but doesn't get the fastest lap, he could most certainly tie us. That is so cool. That is so cool. You can see the rest of the finishing order right here, and you can see that there was only 8 cars in the lead lap. And then we saw that George Russell did something there. He DNF'd. Let me see who else was on the strategy with me. So there's me. Oscar Piastri was on it. Bottas, Albon, Zhou, Stroll, and looks like Daniel Ricciardo was. Huh. Okay then. So honestly, the majority of the field took the main strategy, but I took the alternate and took home a win. How cool is that? Alright, so our next race is going to be the Canadian Grand Prix, which I feel like is going to be really good for us. But that's going to do it for us today. If you guys want to see more of these F1 races, make sure you hit the like button, don't forget to comment, and also subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take care.